Remember when we said that The Rock was gonna ruin WrestleMania? We'd like to take that back. I'm Senior Siete here at the 7 Wrestling News Desk, and it's time for us to dive into all of the matches that'll be taking place at the 40th edition of the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and Superman punch that notification bell. Coming to you live from the City of Brotherly Love on April 6th and 7th on the somewhat popular streaming service Peacock. And while some are calling it WrestleMania 40, we're calling it WrestleMania XL because XL describes the size of the smiles on our faces due to what is shaping up to be an awesome card. Wow, what a difference a few weeks make. We went from a pre-Rumble card that featured a Night 1 main event of CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and a Night 2 of Cody Rhodes hopefully finishing the story against Roman Reigns to a narrative train wreck that featured Cody handing off the WrestleMania title match to The Rock for, reasons. And the negative crowd reaction inspired the biggest star in Hollywood, the guy who's constantly trying to sell us stuff, to do a complete 180 and become arguably the scariest character in modern day professional wrestling. Honestly, this is setting itself up to be an all-time event with beloved good guys, hated and feared bad guys, all colliding at the perfect time. But before we get into that, let's take a quick look at what's happening on the undercard. AJ Styles versus LA Knight. The battle of two dudes with first initial names. They couldn't add CM Punk and make it a triple threat? Can JJ Dillon manage one of them? Anyhow, this could be a pretty enticing match on any other card, but this thing is going to get lost in the shuffle. I'm imagining we're eventually going to get Knight versus Logan Paul for the US title, so he doesn't necessarily need a win here. And Styles might make an interesting feud if they put the Universal title on Cody Rhodes. So we're going to go with AJ on this one. How confident are we in this? Not at all. We're going to give it a 2 out of 10. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton, United States Championship. Don't sleep on this one. Randy Orton has been in the zone since returning. Kevin Owens always brings his A-game, and it's just so much gosh darn fun to watch people beat up Logan Paul. And yeah, we're probably past the point of saying that Logan Paul is a good wrestler for celebrity. The dude's just a good wrestler. He gets his character, he's mega athletic, and he brings a lot of eyes to the product. Who's going to win this one? Well, neither Orton or Owens need the US title, and like we said earlier, we'd imagine a SummerSlam defense against LA Knight is probably in Logan Paul's future. So we think Logan Paul's going to pull this off with some kind of sneaky victory, and we're pretty confident in this. We're going to give it a 9 out of 10. All we really want out of this match is Logan doing 6 flips into an RKO. Make it happen, fellas. Gunther versus Sami Zayn, Intercontinental Championship. Oh man, this ought to be a good one. Gunther has just been on a hot streak of a lifetime, and Sami Zayn can definitely go when he's got the right opponent. This might be the show stealer of the weekend, but I can't imagine them ending 2 legendary reigns on the same weekend. Would it take away some of the shine of Cody beating Roman if Zayn upends Gunther earlier in the weekend? Also, Sami's arc doesn't really have anything to do with the Intercontinental title. Sami's already held it on several occasions. Sami's endgame is being a World Heavyweight Champion. If anything, I see Gunther picking up the win here to continue Sami's somewhat slump before he kicks it into high gear and challenges whoever leaves WrestleMania with Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight title. How confident are we in this? Let's give it an 8 out of 10. Damage Control versus Naomi, Bianca, Belair, and Jade Cargill. Let's see here. It's Jade Cargill's non-WrestleMania in-ring debut. Bianca Belair's WrestleMania streak is in jeopardy. Damage Control puts on a good showing before Jade Cargill tags in and squishes them like bugs. How confident are we in this? Let's give it a 10 out of 10. How confident are we that Jade's entrance is going to be an all-timer? Infinity out of 10. Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley, Women's World Championship. The build for this has been kind of weird, with them showing a mutual respect for one another, which I thought was really cool, and then veering off into Becky being annoyed that Rhea will occasionally flaunt her sexuality in her ring gear, which is something Becky has absolutely done herself. I'm hoping this is similar to Rhea versus Charlotte last year, where the build wasn't much to call home about, but the match itself was an absolute banger. Whatever happens here, I kind of expect the feud to last a long time because I'm not sure where either one of them would go afterwards. They've both taken care of Nia Jax. Liv Morgan isn't much of a threat to either one, and both of them have pretty much dominated the Raw women's roster over the past year. Who wins it? I could see it going either way, but I'm leaning towards Rhea just because I think the Philly crowd is definitely going to be in her corner. How confident are we in this? Not at all. Let's give this a 2 out of 10. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. So how on earth isn't this a match between the LWO and Legado del Fantasia? Fantasia? I don't know. You just brought back poor Carlito to not have him have a match at WrestleMania? Well, I'm sure they'll be involved in some fashion. They can do that cool thing where they super springboard Joaquin Wilde halfway down the entranceway, or Zelina Vega and Elektra Lopez can get into a brawl, which will hopefully lead to Zelina leaving the LWO dorks and going back where she belongs, which is, of course, managing Andrade. Who's going to win? Who cares? This feud has been going on for decades, and I don't even remember what the point was. Santos cost Rey the U.S. title last fall or something? I don't know. At any rate, it should be good, and because we always like to see Rey whoop up on Dominic, we'll give it to Rey's team. How confident are we? I don't know. A what does it matter out of 10? Io Sky versus Bayley, WWE Women's Championship. This is another tough one to call. Io has held the belt for a long time and is due for some comeuppance for how she and the rest of Damage Control treated Bayley, but it's always kind of awkward when a heel turns on another heel and that's supposed to turn them into a babyface. Bayley did such a wonderful job turning herself into a grating bad guy over the years, and I'm not sure why I'm supposed to root for her now. I think the match will be good, and Bayley has been long overdue for a WrestleMania singles match, but I have no idea who's going to win. Honestly, my gut says they don't want Damage Control to lose both of their matches, so Io may be able to pick up a tainted win here. How confident are we in this? Not at all. Final Testament versus The Pride, Philadelphia Street Fight. Is this even happening? None of the 6 guys were named as participants in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that's taking place on SmackDown, so I'm guessing it will be... Oh, I'm sorry, okay. They just announced, looks like it's going to be a Philadelphia street fight, so they're allowed to throw batteries at each other and argue over where the best place is to get cheesesteaks. I'd hope Lashley and the Prophets could take this and move on. Karrion Kross he just does nothing for me. He's spooky, but he doesn't have powers. He's a power body guy, but he doesn't have an insane physique or mind-blowing power moves. I'm sure he's a fine talent who will someday find his thing, but it just ain't working for me yet. On the other hand, Lashley's ready to get back into the main event scene. The Street Profits are a great act until they decide to give Montez Ford a single push, which I think he will do exceptionally well with. How confident are we that Lashley and the Profits are going to win this? I don't know. We're not even confident this match has really taken place. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. It was foretold that every 15th year, a pair of actual brothers would battle on the grandest stage of them all, and on the first 2 occasions, the bad guy brother won, but that's because those bad guys had just turned and needed some momentum. This time, the brothers turned good together, then one of them promptly turned back because, reasons. In my brain, I have the bloodline cleaning house this WrestleMania until the very end, but Jey is clearly being treated like a star, and Jimmy is clearly being treated like a lackey. So we're going to go with Jey in this one, but we're not particularly confident. We'll give it a 2 out of 10. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus The Rock and Roman Reigns. All right, we have a grand plan for how we think this WrestleMania is going to play out, and it starts with the first of the final 4 matches we're going to talk about right now. How on earth are we supposed to believe that Rollins and Rhodes have a chance in The Rock's blue hell to win this match? If the end goal is for Cody to finish the story, win the title with the odds stacked against him, it all gets set up here. So the Bloodline takes this one. The announcers rail on about how Cody won't possibly be able to overcome the odds, and the last shot we see is The Rock handing a bloody weight belt to Mama Rhodes. How confident are we in this? Let's give it a 10 out of 10. 6-pack challenge ladder match, Undisputed Tag Team Championship. Okay, from there, earlier in night 1, the Judgment Day is going to lose the Undisputed Tag Team titles. Who's going to win? Doesn't matter. Miz and Truth might be a fun little way to cap off that story, but I gotta tell you, I have no interest in watching that duo defend the titles. DIY, they're just not there yet with the main roster fans. New Day, yawn. New Catch Republic, I could be into that. But I think it's going to be a town down undertaking it. It's just a bad look with how Austin Theory went from beating Cena one year and then being a punchline the next. So let's put the confidence in this at like an 8 out of 10. So why am I so insistent that the Judgment Day lose? Because in storyline, this match is a joke. 6 teams in a ladder match, that's an insane way to defend your title. And when they're furious that they lost the belts in an unfair fashion, The Rock will come whispering, and that will lead to Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, World Heavyweight Championship. During The Rock's diatribes, he's frequently said that Seth Rollins won't be leaving WrestleMania with the title. He hasn't once said that Drew McIntyre is going to win it. And before we dive deeply into this, Rollins and McIntyre have been having some awesome matches. I'm very much looking forward to this. But it isn't enough just to have the Bloodline involved in the main event. The Judgment Day has to have their back. So, after Rollins manages to overcome the odds and defeat McIntyre, Damian Priest, with some help from the Bloodline and the Judgment Day, will cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase and win the World Heavyweight title. We're not confident we have every step of this peg, so let's just give this a 4 out of 10. And yeah, I know we're dipping into fantasy booking here with this, and fantasy booking is the worst, but hear me out. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, Undisputed Universal Championship. Here we are, the big one, and I tell you, Cody had better win this or Philadelphia will burn that stadium to the ground. There was a moment in the lead up to WrestleMania where Reigns lured Rhodes to the ring with the promise that he wouldn't bring any backup. Of course he did, but Rhodes had brought his own backup in Seth Rollins and Jey Uso. This tells me that if the Bloodline wants to continue their shenanigans, they'll need more troops. Hence why the Judgment Day will be brought in to give the Bloodlines the numbers advantage once again. However, there is a popular theory that the main event of WrestleMania XL will be the WWE's version of Avengers Endgame, with everyone who has ever been slighted by the Tribal Chief and the Bloodline coming to Cody's aid. Rey Mysterio, John Cena, LA Knight, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, the list goes on and on of people who still have a bone to pick with Roman Reigns. It'll be epic. And who gets to take out The Rock? Well, in my heart, I want Mama Rhodes to show up defiantly wearing the belt that The Rock gave her and use it to beat him back to Hollywood. But it's more likely that Seth Rollins will take that spot, gain some revenge on The Rock for costing him the title, and hopefully build to a SummerSlam match. And when the smoke is cleared and it's just Cody and Roman in the rings, here's hoping the American Nightmare can end what has been an absolutely phenomenal run. Adrenaline in our souls, something Cody Rhodes. How confident are we in this? Well, we were pretty confident that Cody was going to win it last year, but we think he takes it this time. Let's give it an 8 out of 10. Well, there are our 100% accurate-ish predictions. What do you think? Are we wrong? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and crossroads that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Senior Siete here at the 7 Wrestle News Desk saying, bye-bye.